Hey guys, so here we are where we left off with our thumbnail sketches. So I had drawn these 4 different thumbnail sketches, trying to plan my asymmetrical composition using 2 food items on a table. So I decided to go with my hamburger and fries. So now I'm going to open up a clean canvas. Okay, and again, I'm still going to start with the pencil. Zoom out just a little bit so I can see the whole page. So now I'm going to start my final drawing. I'm going to keep that sketch in mind. It might need some slight alterations, but I'm going to keep the basic idea, right? So I've got a hamburger that's larger than my fries. Okay, I'm going to add some toppings on mine. All right, so this part, you're going to refer back to your thumbnail sketch, and you're going to try and make a slow, careful line drawing to place all of your objects before you start adding color or texture. A plate, that's a little off. A plate from the side is kind of a squashed circle, right? So in perspective, when you look at a plate from the side, it looks like a circle that you sat on, right? You don't want any sharp corners at the sides, just a nice, long, skinny oval. Okay, and then I'm gonna have my fries back here. I'm gonna put them in, a little cardboard thing with a check pattern on it, right? So I picked, that's too big. So I decided to add texture in order to give more weight, visual weight, to my smaller item. Right, and so this is a time to take your time, do a good job, move slowly, right? So I use my finger on the touch screen. And again, you can be doing this in Fresh Paint. You can be doing this in Paint 3D. You can be doing this on paper, whichever you prefer. And I always start with a pencil because that gives me an idea of where everything is. It's easy to erase and fix any mistakes that I've made. Right, so now I'm going to add my French fries. And as you can see, I'm kind of making sure they're a little irregular. That makes them look more natural. All right, so now I have my basic outline. And the last thing I'm going to do, right, to put these on a table, I don't want you to draw the whole table with the legs and the edges, right? So we're just dividing the background into 2 colors. That's how you make it look like it's on a table. You're zoomed in. You don't see the edges of the table. It's just a surface, right? So I'm going to put a line in the back behind my food objects, just dividing the background into 2 colors. So once I've done this, I can start adding color. And again, as you add color, keep your balance in mind, right? So a bright color has more visual weight than a dull color. Texture has more visual weight than something that looks smooth. Also, any color that contrasts with the background. So if you had a black background, white would give you more contrast than, say, a dark gray or, you know, a purple, or, you know, something that's less different from the background. So any color that contrasts heavily with the background is going to provide more visual weight. And so I might start with the background, particularly if you're doing it in fresh paint, or, well, mostly if you're doing it in fresh paint, because then you won't lose your edges, right? So because you don't have the fill tool in fresh paint, you do have to like carefully go around the edges. So it's good to do first thing. I kind of like this color, but I want it to be a little bit lighter. So I'm going to choose that one and then go to my my infinite color chooser and lighten it up a little bit. Let's see how that looks. All right, so for my background, I can make this nice and big. And you may have noticed that if you're using fresh paint, you're welcome to do this. I chose the pastel, right? The pastel option in fresh paint is similar to the oil paint, but without so much texture, right? This is much smoother. So if you like that smoothness, that's how I got it. And so here, I'm gonna just go over the edges a little bit to make sure I don't have any gaps in my background. It's better to go a little too much than have to go back and redo it. Go away. Whoops. There we go. Okay. So I'm going to add my table color as well. Let's do a light gray. And again, I am using my finger on the touch screen. I find it gives me much more control than using the mouse if you're doing this digitally. Now, I don't love how close in color these two things are where they meet. I think I'm going to add a shadow. All right, so I don't love how hard it is to tell where the table and the wall meet. So I'm going to add this darker green at the bottom and blend them together to make a shadow. All right, so I pulled out that pointy white stick, that's the blender. And now I'm just kind of scribbling that along the edge where these two colors meet to create a softer edge. Okay, and now I'm about ready to go ahead and start my burger and fries. I'm going to grab that color, but I think it's a little bit too dark. I'm going to lighten it up a little bit. I think that's not quite golden enough. Okay. Oh, and first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to hit that fan button and dry my background so I don't blend the background with the foreground. So from here, we are just adding color, adding texture, all the normal things, taking our time, doing a nice job. Good craftsmanship will always get you a better grade. All right, so I hope that gives you everything you need. And again, I'll show you this when it's done. But that's the basic idea. You can always ask me, email me with questions. Have a good time.